Hi everyone. Hope everyone's doing great today. My name is Courtney and we're going to be doing a 45-minute class, just kind of working on the whole body with a particular focus on hips and legs. So let's begin on our backs. Lie down, take up some space on your mat. The legs extend long and close down the eyes. Starting to pay attention to your breath. Don't try and control it. Just notice the rise and fall of your belly and chest as you inhale and exhale. Starting to lengthen your inhales. Feel your belly rise and expand like a balloon as you take in the air through your nose. And slowly exhale it through your nose. Just try here to balance the inhale and exhale. Maybe counting to yourself, lengthening both out. Turning your focus inward, noticing what's happening inside of you. On your next exhale, squeeze your knees up towards your chest, wrapping your arms around your legs, giving yourself a hug. Bring your chin in towards your knees, squeeze a little bit tighter, and release your left leg down to the mat. Flex your foot, intending it towards your heel towards the back of your mat. Pull your right knee in towards your right armpit. You might want to play with rolling your leg around in small circles. Releasing a bit on the inhale. And on the exhale, pulling your knee in a little bit closer to deepen the stretch. Reach toward the back of your mat with your extended leg, creating length through the left side of your body. Straighten your right leg, keeping the foot flexed. Heel reaches towards the ceiling. Pull your hamstring back towards your chest. Here, if you need to keep a slight bend in your leg, that's okay. As long as you can feel that your leg is extending towards the ceiling. Reach with your right hand to your right heel. Arm can come inside your right shin. We'll come into half happy baby. The bottom of your foot should be facing the ceiling. Shin should be perpendicular to the floor. Release back up toward the ceiling. Give yourself a little squeeze in towards your chest. And cross your right foot above your right knee. And just let your right knee be heavy. On your next inhale, lift your left leg slightly. And just try and raise it as high as you can. If you can't go very high, that's okay. When you come down to your mat, you can take a little break and release the foot. And again, on an inhale, raise it back up. Exhale, release. Right knee pulling towards the floor. One more time. This time, whenever you reach the top, bend your left leg and you can grab around your left shin or behind your knee and pull your legs in towards your chest. Trying to keep the shoulders nice and close to your mat. And rock back and forth a little bit here. On the inhale, you can lengthen your spine, reaching the crown of your head toward the top of your mat. And on the exhale, try and pull your stretch in a little bit deeper. Left knee coming closer to left shoulder. You release your right foot and plant both feet on the mat. Take a breath here, windshield the legs back and forth. Come back to center. This time we're going to pull in the left knee. So grasping in front of your knee, nice and tight in towards your chest. Extend the right leg, heel driving toward the back wall. Good, Byron. Again, here you can make little circles or just move your knee back and forth, keeping that foot flexed. Reaching your right leg nice and long towards the back of your mat. Sole of the left foot reaches up towards the ceiling. Holding onto the back of your left thigh, pull your leg in towards your chest, keeping your shoulders planted on your mat. Reach up for the outer edge of your left foot. Arm comes inside of left shin. Knee drives down towards left shoulder. Half happy baby. So when you're here, your right leg might want to start lifting or your knee might want to start bending. So it's important to keep that engaged and keep the heel driving towards the back of the mat. Keep it nice and strong. Releasing the left foot down to the right knee. Drop the left knee. Again, we'll do the same thing as we did on the other side. Lift the legs up, pulling your right leg up toward your chest. Feeling the outer hip of the left leg. Release. You can either hover your leg here, or you can release it right down to the floor for a little break, whatever your body needs. Inhale, raise it up again. Exhale, release. Inhale, foot towards the ceiling. And release back down so that your right foot is planted on the mat. Might need to adjust your heel above your knee so that it's nice and stable. And from here you can grab the front of your shin or behind your thigh, pulling your leg in toward your chest. Rock back and forth if that feels good. Be curious about what it feels like if you pull your knee in closer or play around with pushing your left knee towards the back of the mat. Okay, release your feet back down to the mat. Windshield your legs back and forth a little bit. Feet can be on the outer edges of your mat. Nice release for the hips. Next time your knees drop to the right, shift your bum a little bit to the left. And you can stack your knees here. Your gaze goes to the left for a twist. Hands can be out in the T shape, or you can use your right hand to put some weight on your knees to deepen the twist. Ensuring both shoulder blades are planted on the mat. And release, come back to center. Shift your bum to the right and drop your knees over to the left. Same thing, other side. Feel free to send your gaze over the right arm towards the right fingertips. That feels good on your neck. Or you can look up at the ceiling. Close down the eyes. Paying attention to all of the sensations in your body here. Maybe the difference between the two sides. On the exhales, letting go of anything that you're holding on to. That's not serving you. Feet can come back up to center. From here, you can roll over to your right side to fetal position and slowly roll up and we'll meet seated. So from here, hands can just rest on your knees. We're going to wake up the neck a little bit. So drop your chin down to your chest. And from here, slowly roll your chin towards your right shoulder, keeping your gaze down towards your mat or shutting down your eyes. Rolling back to center. Bring the chin towards the left shoulder. My neck hurts on this side, so can't really go that far today, but you can. Again, back down through to the right side. And over to the left. Back down to center. This time take your hands and clasp them and just rest them on the back of your head, letting the weight stretch out the back of your upper spine. Don't want to pull right here, just letting your head be nice and heavy. And release your hands back down. Do a couple full circles. Feels good on your neck. Roll your head back and around. And other direction. All right, from here, do a little bit of a side stretch. So right hand can come down to the mat, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can place your right forearm right on the mat. So first we'll get really tall on a deep breath in and lean over to the right. Left arm comes up and reach up toward the right side of the room. You want to keep both your sit bones planted on the mat for this. Your left side is going to want to raise up. If that's happening, maybe just come back up onto your hand. Put a little bit of a bend in your right elbow. And release your left hand down. We'll set up for that on the other side by either planting your forearm or just your hand with a little bit of a bend, leaning over to the left, extending your right side body. Maybe looking up towards the ceiling. Take a couple more deep breaths here. And release back to center. So swing your knees around and we'll meet in tabletop. Knees should be hip width apart. Hands planted into the mat, fingers spread wide. Inhale, chin reaches up towards the ceiling, creating an arch in your back. And exhale, round the spine, pushing the floor away, doming the upper back. Chin comes into chest. Inhale, reach your tailbone up toward the ceiling. And exhale, ribs come in towards hips, round the back. Do a couple more of these at your own pace. Breathing nice and deeply as you flex and extend your spine. Bring your spine back to neutral. Touch your big toes together, widen your knees to the outer edges of your mat, and meet in child's pose, Balasana. Forehead intends towards the mat. If you have a block and you want to bring the floor towards your forehead, feel free to use it here. Otherwise, just let your head hang, reaching your arms forward. Pressing your palms into the floor. Use your fingertips to grip the mat, creating a nice stretch in your upper back. Coming forward, curl your toes under, point your hips back and up toward the ceiling, and we'll meet in downward dog. So here, feel free to play around with bending one of your knees, pedaling your feet. Your main priority here is to lengthen the spine. So pushing the floor away with your hands, drive your hip points up towards the ceiling, creating length in your spine from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Release the tension from your neck. On an inhale, step your left foot forward to meet your left thumb. And lower your knee, your right leg. Low lunge. Arms come up toward the ceiling. Might want to move your right leg back a little bit. Get a little bit deeper. So take a second just to put your hands on your hips and notice if you're tilting forward with your pelvis. So instead of maybe really deepening your lunge this way, take a little bit of a tuck with your tailbone just to create a kind of more neutral position of your pelvis. Hips should be square to the front of your mat. Arms reach up, fingers spread wide. Right hand comes down, plants on the mat. Lift your right knee, lengthen the back of the right leg, and reach up for easy twist, opening to the left side of the room. Open your heart nice and wide toward the ceiling, keeping that extension in your back. And plant your left hand to the inside of your left foot now. Lower your right knee to the mat. Open your chest to the front of your mat. And can play around with how this feels. You may want to stay up on your palms. Or if you have the flexibility, you could also come down onto your forearms for a block if you have one. For a lizard. You may want to move side to side. Left knee reaches out toward the left wall. Release the tension out of your neck. Make sure here you're pushing the floor away slightly. You don't want to be dumping into your back and putting all your weight onto your left foot. Just keep your mat pushed away from you. Slowly bringing yourself back up. I'm going to bring your left foot in a little bit. And from here, keep your left hand planted inside your left foot. We'll just do a low lunge with a quad stretch. So if you can, reach for the inside of your right leg. This time your heart is open toward the right side. Use your left arm to push your left knee out toward the left. Try and keep your spine long here. And look back towards your foot or the back wall. Play around with leaning forward a little bit or pushing back. Slowly release the right foot. Hands can plant back onto the mat. And step back, we'll meet in plank. From here, you can lower from your knees or straight down onto your belly. Plant the tops of the feet into the mat. Engage your glutes, pushing the pubic bone into the floor. Hands are under shoulders. We'll rise up for cobra, keeping a bend in your elbows. Heart shines open to the front of the room. You want here, you can push up a little bit more. Gaze follows up to the ceiling. Making sure your shoulders are pulling down your back, not packing them up towards your ears. And release, slowly lower down. Hands can come onto, head can come onto hands. On your next inhale, plant your hands, push back to your knees and up to downward dog. Pressing the floor away through your thumb and index finger, slightly creating some external rotation in your arms. Your elbows are rolling towards the floor. The armpits of your elbows will be pointing, trying to point more towards the ceiling. And step forward with your right foot for low lunge. Lower your left knee. Reach up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, making those adjustments to the pelvis and sinking a little bit lower into your lunge. Left hand comes down, plants on the mat. Curl your left toes, pick up your knee, and open up to the right. Arm reaches nice and strong up to the ceiling. check in and make sure your hips are still square to the floor, and it's your upper body that's turning open to the right side. From here, left hand plants inside of the right hand plants inside of the right foot. Lower the left knee, lizard again on this right side. Make sure you're not rounding. If you need to use blocks here to keep your spine nice and long, or if you do have a lot of flexibility in your hips, feel free to come down to your forearms. I can't do that. Too much biking. Rock side to side. Move your right knee in and out, closer and away from your upper arm. Come out of this pose a little bit, back to a lunge. And here, you might need to adjust your right foot. Keep your right hand inside your right foot. Pick up the back leg, and if you can, oh, major Charlie horse. Reach for the inside edge of your left foot. Might need to step your right foot out a little bit. And if it helps to take the rounding out of your spine, you can place a block inside of your right foot too to keep your body more upright so that you're not really bent over, pulling in a way that is not feeling good for your body. You can look over your left shoulder. And gently release your foot down, hands come back to mat. Plank pose. Nice and strong here. Take a deep breath in, push the floor away, dome your upper back. And release, knees to the floor. Chest lowers. Plant the tops of the feet, engage the glutes. And push up to cobra. On your exhale, lower down. And push back to child's pose. This time, keeping your knees together. Arms can come back by your sides. Feeling the outer edges of your ribs expand as you inhale and contract as you exhale. On your next inhale, rise up so that you're on your knees. Hands can come onto your legs. Just give yourself a little massage in your hip creases. Push down. Kind of rub the heel of your hand around. Create some release here. Roll your shoulders a couple times. Switch directions. Okay, come forward into table. From here, take your left leg. You're going to bring it around your right leg so that your knees are connected. Shift over to the center of your mat into cow face fold. So if you can't come back, you could put a block under your bum here if you don't reach the floor. Otherwise, sit down, legs crossed. Reach up on an inhale and fold forward as far as you can go, letting go and rounding. Nice passive stretch in your back. We're not reaching towards the front of our mat. And feel free to close down your eyes here. On an inhale, come back up. Lean forward, back into table again. Uncurl your legs. Maybe do a couple cat-cows here. Bring your left leg to the middle of your mat. Take your right leg, cross it around. Separate your heels a little bit and lean back again. Take an inhale, reach up, and let yourself bow forward. In this pose, both of your sits bones should be attached to the mat. If only your left side is touching the mat, that's a good indicator that maybe a block would help you out under your bum here. And keep a little bit of a bend in your arms to make sure you're not pulling forward. Trying to sink a little bit deeper on the exhales. On your next inhale, use your hands to sit yourself up. And from here, you can take your right leg, uncurl it, move to the long edge of our mats. And set up for wide-legged forward fold. I'm seated, so taking your heels to opposite sides of your mat. Plant your sit bones. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, walk your hands forward any amount. If you have a bolster or blocks, maybe that'd be a nice time to set them up to have something to rest your forehead on. Otherwise, forearms can come to the ground. Or maybe you go even deeper, your chest intending toward the floor. Flex your feet, toes point up toward the ceiling. Slight external rotation in the legs. Lengthening your spine on the inhale and getting deeper into the stretch on your exhale. Using your hands, plant your palms on the floor, push yourself up, rolling vertebra by vertebra. Spine is nice and straight and your crown is reaching towards the ceiling. So using your hands, you can bring your feet back together. Hands can come behind you, fingers pointed towards your glutes. Give your legs a little windshield here. And coming back onto your mat. Slowly roll yourself down. Legs come nice and long. Heels can be reaching towards the corners of your mat. Take up some space with your arms. Let your feet be nice and heavy, falling out towards the sides. Shoulder blades come down and together behind your back. From here, close down your eyes and make any last adjustments you need to so that you can prepare for your final Shavasana. Feeling your body get heavy, sinking into the floor. Letting go of any tension that might be in your joints. Letting the benefits of this practice sink in. Clearly recognizing what is happening inside us and regarding what we see with an open, kind, and loving heart is what I call radical acceptance. If we're holding back from any part of our experience, if our heart shuts out any part of who we are and what we feel, we are fueling the fears and feelings of separation that sustain the trance of unworthiness. Radical acceptance directly dismantles the very foundations of this trance. That's out of a book that I love called Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. Just wanted to share it with you. Slowly bringing back feeling into your fingers. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Start waking the body up. Roll your head from side to side. Roll onto your right side. Bring your left palm to the mat. And push yourself back up to a seated position. Inhale through your nose. exhale through your mouth. Hands come together up to heart center. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. The end. I had to say that part.